Hello everybody, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. Here with Celeste Hackett bringing you more news and information about the world of hypnosis, etc. And today I'm so glad to be introducing to you Celeste Hackett, becoming a rising star in the world of hypnotism, and certainly the star of Texas when it comes to hypnosis, seeing clients, teaching new hypnotherapists, writing articles, fabulous MC at the National Guild of Hypnotists, Solid Gold Weekend. Also, of course, a regular speaker at the National Guild of Hypnotists Convention every August, which is coming up, by the way. Get your seats. How you doing, Celeste?
Hey, Cal, I'm doing just fine over here in Dallas, and want to talk about you, mister. You know, you're a mega leader in the profession. And maybe it's because you wanted to create things that you wish you had had when you were starting out as a hypnotist, because you've created 5-Path, which is awesome. Hypnotists from all over the world are using it. More and more people are learning about it. I teach it too. I like it so much, and at my state licensed career school. And also, Cal Banyan is award-winning. He's won so many awards. Just last August, it was the Rexford L. North Award. And he's just amazing. He's everywhere on the internet. He just supports hypnotists with free training, like these podcasts right here. So welcome, Cal Banyan, to your own program. Yay!
Yeah, I should have a little, thank you very much. I should have a little sign, sit out in the corner of the internet somewhere and say, I work for comments. Because that's why we do this. We want to see your comments down below, either on facebook.com/hypnosisetc or right here on calbanyan.com. By the way, if you're watching this anywhere besides calbanyan.com, you want to go there right now, because right below this video is additional text, graphics, and links that just make this podcast more and more valuable. And by the way, down there also is a link for an audio-only version of this podcast. Lots of you like to, listen to us while you're driving to work or getting ready in the morning or riding your bicycle or walking your dog. Because, I mean, you know, once you've seen Celeste and me once, you've probably seen, well, me enough. But, you know, you could get it all just in audio, too. Hey, so what do you got for us? Oh, hey, you got a class. Did you mention your classes coming up?
April the 8th through the 19th, I said I had a state licensed school, but I have a class coming up April the 8th through the 19th. Sign up for it. It's going to be awesome. And one coming up in September of this year, and then 2014. I got several classes, but I'm real excited about my one in July of 2014, because I'm going to be doing a class every weekend for 5 weekends, and this is for people who just can't do a full 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about that. But I want to say one thing about the comment thing. I totally agree. We need the love. You know, don't be a taker only. You want to give back and you think, I don't have anything to give Cal and Celeste and Meredith. Well, you do. We want to know that you like what we do. I want to know that you like my dress, my hair, something. We just want to hear from you.
And your hairstyle.
Yes.
Which has changed a lot since the early days.
Yes, yes.
I was putting up a message on the Hypnosis. I don't know why I'm having trouble with Facebook. Facebook.com/hypnosisetc this morning before we started. See if anyone had questions for the podcast. You know, I probably shouldn't have stayed up for that Walking Dead TV marathon last night. I tell you what, today I feel like the Walking Dead. You see, Walking Dead, it's about these zombies that are taking over the world. But I'll tell you what, I'm not a big zombie guy. But one of my best buddies says, oh no, this is a good show, you got to watch it. So a couple days ago, I noticed there's like a zombie Walking Dead marathon, and I watched like 20 episodes, I tell you. And so I just wish Celeste could do the whole show today. But I will.
Christopher was up watching that. Christopher loves that series. You guys are so much alike.
I just started watching it. I mean, like 20 episodes in 2 days. Wow. Okay.
Well, so I guess it's a good series.
Walking Dead on my list. Hey, speaking of The Walking Dead, we've got another Hypno Mug winner. How's that for a segue?
That's a great segue.
That's
I don't get it, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yes, I am the Walking Dead hypnotist. Let's see. That'd be funny if they had a Walking Dead they've always got these zombies, and there's like nurse zombies and cop zombies and army zombies and walking around. And so of course, if television had anything to do with it, there'd be a zombie walking around like this, holding his swinging watch, ready to take a bite out of you. Okay. Hey, so far with this last series of podcasts with Celeste, we've had Hypno Cup winner Nashale Gonzalez, Jacinda Davis, Tracy Duga, and now the last one in this series is Dan Osso, DANOSSO. Give us a call, send us your, or email us, and give us your shipping address, and you will get a cool Hypno mug like this one, or like Celeste has. All right. Did you show your mug?
Yes, of course. I'm all in, bro. All right? You're the walking dead. I'm the walking blonde. I've always got my head in the zombie land, I have something.
Let me ask you something. If you bit Christopher, would he become blonde and be a walking blondie? Blonde? What do you call it? Zombie?
A walking blonde zombie would be really scary.
Okay, you have too much fun on these podcasts.
I know, we do.
Okay.
I have a good question today, Cal. I want to give you this question so we can really give a good answer, so we have time to give a good answer. Can I do it now? Can I do it now? Can I do it now?
Hold on for 10 seconds.
Okay.
All right, you guys. I got classes coming up. The Banyan Super Course, Certification Course, NGH approved. July 15th it starts, and another one October 14th. Then we got the Week of Power. That's the advanced course for all you hypnotists out there that want to do the skill building, confidence building, and get 5-path, 7-path rocking and rolling for you. That one's going to be April 28th. And by the way, did you know, I don't mention this enough, did you know that we have an online live version? Let's say you can't get all the way out here to California. Maybe you've got a dog you got to take care of, or a family member you got to take care of, or you just don't want to spend the money on airfare and for hotel room and for food out at, eating away from home and all that. Save a bundle of money by taking our courses live online. That's right, we've got cameras set up in our classroom, a dedicated classroom. We've got IT staff that mans all of that to make sure that you can have the class experience without all those extra expenditures. So, call our office or check out our class listing on calbanyan.com in the certification course listing, and check out our online version. It's live, interactive. You're just like anybody else in the course, and except you watch me on your computer screen, and I watch you on my computer screen. All right, that's it. What's your question?
Well, now this guy originally wrote to you, so I don't know. Can I say his name? You tell me.
I don't remember. Let's just go with the question.
Okay. Cal, you may have covered this issue before. If so, I have not managed to find it on the list of podcasts, but I am interested in whether age regression is suitable for treating PTSD. I actually like the idea, but I have been warned not to try it. I have always understood that all emotions are good, and what we resist persists. So what gives, Cal? Treat it or not? What do I do? That's what he wants to know.
All right, boy. We could do a lot about this, but let me give you some stuff to get started with. And Celeste, I know I responded to him and I CC'd to you, so if I leave something out, please just fill it in. So, first of all, God, I don't even know where my first of all is, and there's so many first of alls. Let's see what comes out. First of all, just like the word depressed has a very specific, depression has a very specific psychiatric meaning. And to say, I'm depressed, from a psychologist or psychiatrist point of view, has a very specific set of symptoms and a profile that to fit before you can be diagnosed with, like, depression, major depression, or any kind of depressive mental illness. But that's not what people say when they come in and say, I'm depressed. So some of these psychiatric labels work their way into public consciousness. So sometimes people will come into our office and say, I got PTSD. And don't immediately think they've got PTSD. You got to ask them, how did this come about that you think you have PTSD? Did you see a doctor or a psychologist or whatever? Because it's very likely that they may have never seen a doctor about it. They've been through some very stressful or even horrific experience, and it's still stressing them out. They're thinking about it, but no way can you go about, unless you are a licensed medical or mental health practitioner, go around diagnosing the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And there's lots of people out there walking around saying, I got PTSD, who, even if you were a mental or psychiatric professional, they would not meet the criteria. So, first of all, don't play doctor. Make sure you know the laws where you work. And don't start labeling people as having PTSD or any other psychological or mental disorder or disease without being licensed to do so. So if someone came in and said, I have PTSD, and they've never seen a doctor about it, one of the things I could do is I could say, you know what, maybe you need to go see a doctor or psychologist about this. And in the meantime, I can begin working with them with regard to what's going on at a behavioral level. They'll say, gosh, I'm just really stressed, I'm having trouble sleeping, or whatever it is that their particular issues are, and just start working with them. Because a lot of the things that people who self-diagnose with PTSD are experiencing are things that hypnotists, normal everyday hypnotists, work with all the time because they are normal everyday problems. So that's one of the things to talk about. Another thing to talk about is that, let's say they do get diagnosed with PTSD. And I've had the opportunity to work with several people in the past who have some ex-military, some just having been through some very traumatic experiences with have carried the label PTSD, and then had them referred to me by either a psychologist or psychiatrist. And had wonderful results, wonderful results. They say that it's like night and day difference. So if you have the proper training, like you are a skilled and experienced five-pather, always work within the limits of the law and limits of your training. And don't be afraid of when people come in with a supposed psychiatric illness. You know, if you feel like, hey, you know, maybe they might be onto something, they do have a psychiatric illness, recommend they see a doctor. But in the meantime, start working with them to alleviate their problem. Get rid of that, the stress or the fear or the problem sleeping. And gosh, we can just do an awful lot with those who are self-diagnosing, which is misdiagnosing, and also even those that have been diagnosed. And what do? Yeah, I'm going to do age regression. And why am I going to do age regression? Because it's part of five-path, and I use five-path for everything. I tell this story in class, and let's say that it's the Vietnam War. And in the barracks, the barracks is empty except for these two soldiers. On one end, about 50 to 100 feet away, is this soldier, and he's on his cot, and he's reading a magazine or something. And 50 to 100 feet away, on the other side of the barracks, is another soldier, and he's reading letters from home. And then all of a sudden, they hear incoming, or some kind of announcement that the base is getting shelled. And they both jump underneath the cots. And right smack dab in the middle of them lands a mortar shell or some other kind of bomb. And as it works out in this example, both soldier A and soldier B are unharmed physically. Now, soldier A, after this happens, he might walk out from underneath his cot and say, oh my God, I'm the most unluckiest son of a bitch in the world. How did I ever wind up here? I could have been killed. I don't think I'm going to make it. Now, soldier B, who's coming out of the other cot, he comes out and he says, my God, I must be the luckiest son of a bitch in the world, because, God, here I am alive in one piece with that bomb going off so close to me. I think maybe God has a reason for me to survive. So same exact, soldier A, same exact situation, thinks he's the most unluckiest guy in the world, and then soldier B says, my God, I must be the luckiest person in the world. And it's the exact same situation. What would be the difference? Why does one look at it one way and the other one the other way? Because you see, that way they interpret that event can have a profound effect on their life. Let's say soldier A, who said, I'm the most unluckiest son of a bitch in the world. Excuse my language, but I guess I have to put an R rating on this podcast. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'm kind of going back to back when I was in the military, and that's the kind of language we used. Not that it's right, not that it's good, but you know what? You'd say, anyway, he says, I'm the most unluckiest son of a bitch in the world, and you follow that soldier 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, and he might be the one that turns out to be the drug addict or the alcoholic or the homeless man. You take the other soldier, soldier B, who said, I must be the luckiest son of a bitch in the world, and because, God must have a reason that I lived through this, and we follow that person 5 years, 10 years, 20 years into the future, and that individual becomes an important, productive member of society, a good father, drug and alcohol free. What's the difference between these two cases? And it has to do with what has happened in their life before that symptom-producing event. What happened? So when we do age regression, not only can and should we do age regression, we should not be fooled by the obvious. And that is, people will talk about this symptom-producing event over and over again, and psychologists and counselors and other helping individuals will talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, when really you got to go. You need to take the age regression bridge or the tunnel all the way back to where that way of looking at the world began. I'm not lucky. I'm screwed. There's something wrong with me. The world is out to get me. I'm not as good as other people, whatever that is. So when we do age regression for PTSD, or really anything, don't be fooled by the obvious. Go back, find where it started, and it usually doesn't start with a symptom-producing event. It usually started sometime before the age of 5. Follow it all the way back, find out what the real cause of the problem is, do the informed child work, and do the going through the SSC work, do the age progression work, and then get on to phase 3 and 4, which is forgiveness of others and forgiveness of self. And then, particularly if you're working with real PTSD, could be a lot of secondary gain going on. Because the soldier who's been diagnosed with PTSD has got some really big challenges. Because if their PTSD is recognized and diagnosed, they're going to get money for that. And like disability, maybe they're 50% or even 100% disability, and you're getting that $1,500 to $3,000 a month. And it can be very conflicting that on one hand, the self, who you really are, it wants to get better, it wants to get past this, and it wants to go on. But there can be a subconscious element, and this is not malingering. I'm talking about the protective part of you that will not want to give up the symptoms or to give up the problem because of the security of having that ongoing income. And that's something that 5-Path gives you that no other system of hypnosis does. And that is a way to go from the beginning, the preparation, testing, and convincing phase, where we get a good, hopeful, somnambulistic client in phase 1, through phase 2, which is the age regression and the age progression work, and then into phase 3, where we get rid of the anger towards others, which, see, really any strong emotional attachment to the problem can perpetuate the problem. So I never stop with age regression. I'm going to go on through these other phases. Forgiveness of others is phase 3. Then forgiveness of self, because the individual has to take some responsibility for the issue. And when they do, then there's going to be feelings of anger towards the self or guilt. We need to neutralize that. And both in age regression, forgiveness of others, and forgiveness of self, as we do this insight work, then what happens is we get hypersuggestibility, which allows us to give them very, very long-lasting hypnotic suggestions that can be permanent. And then phase 5, and that is how to check for secondary gain and how to overcome it. And so that's why I'm a proponent of the 5-pass system, is because it takes you with all the tools you need from beginning to end, and it doesn't matter if it is someone who is experiencing PTSD, real or self-diagnosed, or nail biting. It's all the same thing. And by the way, when you are working with a real diagnosis of PTSD or any mental health issue, you really, really need to know what the laws are in your state or your province, wherever you're at, and work within them. And it is always a good idea to be working with a licensed mental health professional. Whew. Did I hit everything I had in the email to him?
Ooh, you went beyond. I especially found helpful, and I think the viewers will too, about the secondary gain part. You know, that's so important to mention. And, you know, generally when you think about PTSD, you think about things like natural disasters or floods or war, or rape, or, you know, terrorism, that kind of stuff that causes symptoms like nightmares or, you know, just strong, uncomfortable reactions to situations that remind you of the event and all that. Sometimes you'll find things, pretty rarely, but every once in a while you'll find these things come up in sessions where you're not working on that. I had a client not too long ago that came in for weight loss. We did all these sessions, and by what was going to be our last session, he came in and he said, "My wife says I should tell you about this." And I said, "Oh, well, what is it?" And he said, "Well, I've been having lots of recurring dreams about, you know, Vietnam." And I said, "Okay." So he wasn't diagnosed with PTSD. We just took him back to where his mind was having the problem and worked through that scene of a helicopter crash, and it changed his life, and he went on, you know. So it's just, the whole thing is so very interesting, the different ways it can occur and how people can sometimes work through these real horrific things on their own. And like you were saying, some people it causes them to go on and get a psychiatric diagnosis, and sometimes not. Very interesting.
Hey, put up.
All right, I just think it's really cool that there's that group supporting veterans in the United States of America. I think we should do more for our veterans. It'd be nice if we as hypnotists could get together and do something special like that, some special support. But anyway, we are out of time. I'm Celeste Hackett, here with you once again, and next time when you're watching Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc., you'll see Meredith Locker, the wonderful, the great, and beautiful. And I do have to flash this really fast on camera. This is from my niece. It's a portrait of me. So I told her I'd show it. Her name is Ireland. Thank you for my portrait, Ireland. You guys have a great week, and Cal and Meredith will be with you next time. And that's it for me, Celeste Hackett. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much for these 4 podcasts. We'll probably be seeing you about a month from now, and we'll just keep going, keep serving the hypnosis community, and seeing them at the National Guild of Hypnotists Convention in August. And that's it. Cal Banyan, signing out. This recording is the property of Cal Banyan and the Banyan Hypnosis Center for Training and Services, Incorporated. All rights reserved, for private use only, may not be duplicated without permission. For contact information, go to www.hypnosiscenter.com.